Persephone's Tarot. Hi there and welcome back. It's Persephone Tarot. So this video is gonna be based on these cards I got for my birthday. I just kind of want to go through them with you guys, kind of do like a little review, just so everybody can know kind of cards they are and if we be interested. So this is the Shaman's Dream Oracle, and it's by Alberto Filordo and Colette Baron Reed, and it is a 64 card deck and guidebook. And I like how the box is open like this. It's by a magnet. I always find if the box is like this, the cards are gonna be super good. So you have a nice box, and inside it says, "We're all sacred dreamers, dreaming the world into being," which I think is kind of really nice to have like a nice meaning for the box, and kind of gives you like an overall perspective of how the cards are gonna be and what they're meant to do. And so you have a book, and the book, it's nice and thick, it's good quality. I find that it has not a lot of information, but at the same time a lot of information. When I do oracle cards, I like to have these, like the general meaning, but I also like to have at the bottom a summary so that I don't have to read the whole thing. I will read it, but I mean, I'd like to have these two, so when I can read these and have like a general idea, I can also keep that idea in mind, while also trying to understand what my intuition is trying to tell me, which is important for oracle cards, because oracle cards tend to just give you the answer. And so when you have the answer, you don't always look for what your intuition or what spirit or what the universe is trying to tell you. And I think personally, if you want to be a good card reader, you also have to go with, your intuition, and you might have to step out of the box. There's these meanings of these cards, and it's always good to keep them in mind, but it's always best to have your intuition and listen to what's deep down, and what's deep down is trying to tell you. So I think it's good to kind of have an idea of what you want to say, but also have your own, own opinion. And so there's a ribbon, so it makes it easier to take them out. I also just find the ribbons kind of pretty, kind of cute, kind of sexy. Is it just a me thing, but do you guys find like lace and ribbon is kind of like sexy? And so I find with like the color scheme, it kind of doesn't match, because it was like purple and now this is like brown and gold. But I guess it kind of matches with the moon there. It's just a nice box. I would kind of wish the backing of the deck was like a nice purple with some like space, kind of like the inner box kind of idea. But we can't all get the perfect cards. I mean, they're still pretty good cards. They're really kind of thin, but they're like made of a good thick paper, which means it's not gonna break easy. So if you like thin cards that'll last you a long time, these are definitely very good. Which card is this? Falling Angel, Spiritual Narcolepsy. Wow. What are you trying to tell me? Yeah. I don't know the meaning of this card just yet, because I haven't really learned how to deal with this deck. So shuffling, they don't stick together, but it's always good to, when you first get a deck, to, go through them all and kind of just separate them. It's also good to knock out before you open them 3 times to get all the other energy from, like, the people who made the cards, the people who shipped you the cards, the people who touched them in the store. Anybody can leak out a lot of energy, and these things definitely pick up a lot of energy. Any spiritual tool you have, it's definitely good to cleanse it, because spiritual tools can like in a snap instantly pick up anyone's energy, and that's why it's always good to cleanse them before you go through them. So after you're done going through them, it's always good to give them a shuffle. And these cards shuffle really well, but I find because I have small hands and these are pretty thick, it's kind of hard for me to hold them and shuffle them right, especially because they're kind of like a silky texture. So they definitely slide around and move around a lot. So if you're somebody who likes to let the cards fall instead of picking them when you're about to do your reading, then they are definitely good cards for you, because a lot of cards will fall out while shuffling. So yeah, after you shuffle your cards, they always say should double touch all of them. And that's a good way to prepare a card to pick up your energy. But after every reading, if you go let people cut the deck. This is how I do readings for people in person, is I let them cut the deck. So they eventually touch the card, and there's some people go like this. Ooh, sorry. There's some people go like that, and then, let people pick them like this. Definitely, if other people are touching them, you definitely want to kind of either smoke cleanse them, fire cleanse them, water cleanse them. Earth cleansing is kind of hard. I guess you just use salt. Or, just hit the cards. Hit them. But yeah, I find this deck is really good. It's just more, I'm a little disappointed in the back. That's my only problematic with it. I kind of wish it would have kept a theme, and I would, be like this cute purple. But that's just a me thing. If you don't mind, if you don't mind how the back of the deck works, they are definitely, good cards, and I would definitely recommend them. I feel they are more for somebody who's a bit advanced in Oracle, because they are definitely not the easiest when you look at them. There's definitely more like a linger to them. You definitely have to be somebody who gets visions or is more on the dreamer side, because they are dream related. And so if you, I do it again. So if you kind of look at the pictures, they're definitely dream-like. And that's really is a good thing, because it's keeping on theme. So it's very, you gotta be somebody who's aware of their dreams to really use these cards. But you also need to be somebody who is used to Oracle, because in general Oracle is very very difficult to understand, and especially you find the more topic related Oracle can be, it can be difficult to understand. But they always recommend oracles for beginners. But once you start with Oracle, as a beginner, you're going to be mainly an Oracle reader instead of a tarot reader. But Oracle really does find you first. I know that happened with me personally with, one moment. I'm very clumsy. With these decks, this was probably the easiest oracle card you can start with. I know that it was the first card to ever like choose me, and I know that for somebody I used to be friends with, they also found this very easy to connect with first. But I recommend, if you're a beginner, to start with tarot, because it can take you a longer time to learn. And I recommend starting with the Rider-Waite deck, because it can be the easiest for beginners. My deck is really old now, because I've been doing tarot for a long time. And also in the move, it kind of got, musty and a little bit wet from texture and moisture in the cardboard, so it's a bit bendy, bit flaky. I don't use these as much unless I find them at a block, because they can be very helpful when you're at a block. Like I said, these are the easiest cards to understand, but it comes to the queens, the kings, the page, not the page. The way I learned it is the princess and the I guess the knight, but I would call it the prince. They're all kind of like hard to understand in general. So if you always get stuck on the cards, don't blame yourself, because a lot of people do. And even me, who's been doing like readings for a very long time, even I still get stuck on them. Especially when you're using an advanced tarot deck. It is very, very hard. And you might ask, what is an advanced tarot deck? And I would say it's a deck that doesn't give you a lot of imagery, because when you're a tarot reader, the best thing you can do is like look at the imagery and try to read and understand, what's going on in the background, what's the people holding, like these things. And that's you gotta listen to your intuition when you're doing that too. So when you do that, you have to listen to your intuition. So back to these cards, because it was supposed to be a video about these cards. So yeah, no, I guess we'll do a little reading with these. I did move them off camera because I keep hitting the camera. And so this is a reading for anybody who's watching this video, and this is the end of the video. So if you stayed to watch and listen to me rumble, I don't know. So if you stayed, and well, basically you're lucky because you're getting a card reading. Okay, so I'm gonna cut the deck for you guys to show you how I would do a reading in person. And so I'd assume, well, this would be the person cutting the deck with their left hand would be the person you're doing the reading for. But you guys, you have an air hand, so I cut it for you. But when you cut the deck, the first one you leave, that's the past. The one in the middle, wherever you put it, the second one you do, that's your present, and the last one you do is your future. And so the way I put it was present over past, and then I took present, past, and then put it on top of future. And I went with my intuition, what felt right. So I'm assuming if it's, I did this for you guys, so I'm assuming for you that the question you want to know, or what you need to know, is going to be based on your present. And then once again, when you do a 3-card reading, this is definitely good. I mean, every day when you're first starting to learn, you pick a card, you do one. But when you're doing, you want to advance and expand your energy when reading, it's definitely good to start with like 3 and then move on to 4, then 5, Gradually just starting to teach yourself that you can do more cards and that your energy is expanding, so... Which is pretty funny we got this one because it's the box picture. Where's the book? So yeah, when reading a new deck, you definitely don't know what you're getting at first. You don't know what's being said. So definitely when you're starting a new card and you want to use them in readings, and definitely have the book with you. Don't go anywhere without the book. And, even as an advanced reader, I definitely keep the book because it's definitely good when you come to a block and your intuition isn't talking to you. You definitely should, have the book. It'll help you. Okay, so 60. Okay, so this is your past, but based on the present. Oh, serendipity, the observer, the witness, transpersonal. When the watcher appears, it is an invitation to stop doing, pause, and get off the treadmill. I'm not on the treadmill. I take a deep breath, find the witness within, the one who can observe the fire and the fury happening. It's going to be a long reading, so I'm just going to read it fast and then come to what I think this card means. It says the watcher invites you to break free from the linear, casual pace of the petty day to day. Rise to divine. Oh gosh. Okay, so it's telling you in the past you were somebody that was like definitely watching others, that you were definitely somebody who definitely played on the sidelines, but it's telling you that in your next move, which is your present, that you have to become somebody who doesn't watch and actually does stuff. It's actually, wait. Because it tells you in this book that you need to be somebody who doesn't watch stuff, but also tells you to take a break from doing stuff. Maybe it's telling you to not be neither and to just be on the neutral side. I would take it as that, as be somebody who's just like there but not there, and to just be somebody on the neutral side. So in the past, you were either both, and you should be somebody who's neutral. 42. Netcaster. Preparations come to fruition. A surprise, a result beyond expectations. So yeah, this one's kind of simple in a sense. It says, just be somebody who is, like, don't be somebody who picks a fight, and don't be somebody who stops a fight. Be somebody who is, just ignore it. And this one definitely says, if you ignore it, better things will come and you'll be happier. And that's in the place of your present. So if you're following that and doing that and, not stepping your foot into something, then you will be successful in a sense. 21. Oh, I just skipped it. First breath. A fresh start and renewed curiosity. Natural trust and beginner's mind. When the first breath card shows up for you, it is time to leave the old stories and tales behind. You have arrived. Take a deep breath and another. There's nothing else you need to do. Take in a new world. Oh, okay. This one's kind of like, it's telling you that you need to adapt to being like this, because if you're always like this, then it'll be better for you, and and then you'll just, you'll adapt to it, and it'll be like a new habit for you, and that you'll be happy that way. So yeah, definitely be somebody who is like neutral, and if you're neutral, then you will become successful, and eventually over time in the future, this is the future, and then you will be you'll be used to it, and it'll be habit, and it won't be as hard for you to ignore, which is good. It could also mean that you are starting something new, maybe spiritual. Yeah, it's pretty simple, but I find because it's so simple, it's that it's kind of, the cards description, they're pretty simple to understand, but I find because they're so simple that it's a little bit hard for me to find like a full reading in them, because for me with the tarot or with other cards, I find that you can understand them fuller with a full reading and such, and that I can give like half a reading with just one card. But I find if they're too simple, then you can only give them like, this has this, this has this, this has this, and they'll only be like a sentence worth, or like just a small, like, this means to relax, this means to be successful, this, like, it's just one small word. And where if it's a card that isn't so simple, you can find like different meanings and you can put them all together, and that you can also like they're more detailed, so you're not causing yourself a block. But these are definitely a good card, and I'd honestly give them a try regardless, because they do help. And not everybody is the same, not everybody's spirituality is the same, everybody's intuition is the same. Maybe they're hard for me, but they might be easy for you. But I think if you're looking for a good card in texture and quality, they're definitely a good card for you. So I'm just gonna, this was my little review, getting to learn them, me talking about how to be a card reader, tarot reader. I probably will be doing more videos on like teaching you how to read cards or how to use the crystal ball. I'm still learning runes personally, that's why I have the book and it takes me a minute to understand them. But we can learn that together. Let me know if you've liked this video and if it's something I should keep doing. Hopefully I can get more cards so I can do reviews for you guys and tell you which cards are good. I might do a review on all my current cards, but I feel like I already know them, so I can't really give a, unbiased opinion, I guess. I mean, I technically did give a I technically did give a biased English is hard, isn't it? A biased opinion. I technically gave a biased opinion on these cards, but I tried not to because I think people should always go for the cards, even if they, they don't click with someone else, but you should try them and then see if they click with you. It's definitely not a waste of money, because even if they don't click with you now, maybe in a year or two they will click with you. So I know there's some cards I have where they did not click with me, but then when it comes to a certain rating, they're like, pick me, pick me, pick me. So it really depends, It's never a waste of money to get these cards, especially if it's something you're interested in. But I definitely say start slow and start with this in Oracle and Rider White and Tarot, because these are the best two for beginners, and I can say so because I've seen it with myself and some other people. It also was recommended when I started as a beginner, I think within 10 years ago. Not exactly 10 years, but within that. I've lost the date. But yeah, yeah, definitely if you're interested in tarot reading, I recommend. It's always kind of something to help you kind of give yourself an idea of what you want to do with a situation. Yes or no questions aren't always good with these cards. It's definitely good to ask a pendulum, which I will do a small video on TikTok about it. Although I'm pretty sure everybody knows pendulums and how to use them and such. So yeah, I definitely think you should go for it. It's something you want to do. And, well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you again next week. Bye!